I just want to tell you about a former patient of mine that escaped from the sanitarium, and he's very dangerous.
Oh, great! Who is he?
His name is Michael Pliers.
Oh, the former mower mechanic who went crazy like 20 years ago and killed all them people with a lawnmower blade?
Precisely. He is dangerous, and today is the anniversary of when that happened. You boys be careful.
Oh, that's weird. Thought I heard somebody come in. Whatever. Hey, somebody in here playing around? Billy Ray, is that you? 'Cause if I find you, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna do to you. So you better knock it off. All right, quit playing around. I know you're in here. Oh crap! What's going on around here?
Pterodactyl here. Today's video is going to be on this. Graverly 546 walk behind tractor. It's a walk behind tractor. There's attachments that go on the front. And they had a lot of attachments like a mower, a tiller, a garden scratcher, a tiller, a blade, a snow blower. There's a sulky that you can pull, sit on it like a tractor and it'll pull you. Tandem wheels, all kinds of stuff. So this thing doesn't run, and we're gonna get it running. But before we start the video, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, please. All right, let's get started. So this unit came in from Daniel. He's the one that brought in that Taurus wheel horse that we got spark on. And then he picked that up and he said, here, I'm gonna drop this off. Maybe you can get this running too. So I said, yeah, that's pretty cool. Our fans will like that. So we're gonna get it running. So it's got a hood on it, like a regular tractor that you flip up. And there's a battery that goes here. And it's got a crawler, 10 horse, single cylinder cast iron crawler. And this thing is from around 1975. But as you can tell, it looks like somebody added these headlights on there. That's not factory. These are some real cheap headlights. So let me get my little jumper guy here, which is just a battery with some cables on it. And we'll set it in there. And well, I guess I could probably just. So whoever did this had this set up. This is pretty neat idea. They had it set up so they could just put a battery in there and clamp to it. So that way they wouldn't have a battery in there all the time, and then they go to use it and it's dead. Get it, boy. And then the battery be dead. They could just swap the battery out from all different units. So that's kind of a good idea. And then you don't have a pile of dead batteries. So that's pretty secure. And then here's the dash. It's got a choke. It's got a shifting range, low and high. And this is for the PTO, so whatever attachment you got on there, you can turn it on and off, push and pull. And then here's your lever to go forward and reverse. But you gotta push it, pull it. And here's your throttle. And then this is another low and high here. So once we get it running, we'll mess with all that. But we got the battery in it. Let's see if it'll crank. Okay, it'll crank. So let's check it for dinosaur syrup. You always want to do that first. You don't want to be starting something and it's got no fluid in it, or syrup, and it's full, and it's clean. So someone did an oil change on it, maybe Daniel did. So next I want to check for spark. Now, I've got two spark testers here. I got this light up one, which I like to use a lot. But sometimes you'll get a false reading with one of these. And then I've got this other one, this breaks and scrap 'em one, where it'll actually show you jumped at. Now this is the most accurate one to use, because it'll actually jump that. But we're gonna try this one first and see what it does. Because again, sometimes you'll get a false reading with this. It'll light up and you'll still have no spark. And of course, we don't want any metal to touch anywhere. We don't want this to touch against the gas tank. All right, so keep an eye on that and let's see what happens. No spark. All right, we got no juice. So the next thing we want to do, where's the coil at? I'll put my spec, here it is. Coil's over here. So here's the coil. Here's the condenser. And we're going to want to see if we got 12 volts going to the coil. So let me get my Mr. Test Light. Mr. Test Light! We need you! Oh, there you are, Mr. Test Light. So we'll go to ground. Best place to go to ground would be the battery. And let's see if we got juice to the coil. And we do. So we're getting 12 volts to the coil. And we still have no spark. So the next thing we're going to want to check is the points. And the points are over here, under this cover. So we'll get a screwdriver, take that cover off. Get it, boy! Let's see. Oh, they don't look too good. I can get a better light. Well, it's still hard to tell, but they look like they probably should be cleaned. So I got me a points file. This is an old school points file, which looks like it's just sandpaper. But it was sold as a points file. And the points are open. So let's give them a good scratching and see if we can get fire to come back. Now, one thing I notice about these old crawlers, because I've got several of them, and whether they sit outside or they sit inside for a long time, whether I got a transdenser on it or I got the actual condenser on there, I still have to go in every once in a while. I'll pull something out of storage and hit the key and it will not start. And I gotta go in and give them points a little scratching, and then I get fire again. Let's see if we got fire now. Let's look at that. Still no fire. I wonder if that coil's bad. Let's see if these points are closing all the way. The tricky part's going to be trying to turn this crankshaft here, because it's got a safety screen on here and we got this thing on the front, so I'm going to have to bump the key. See if they're opening and closing. Mr. Cameraman's got to get in there too. Yeah, they're closed now. Let me stick that file back in there. Whoa, there's some juice there. Scared me. Alright, they're closed now. I'm filing them. They were open before. Sounds like a dog scratching behind his ear. Alright, let me get some carb cleaner or brake cleaner. Spray them off. They might really be bad. Give them a good blast. Get a piece of paper now. It's a piece of paper I've wadded up. Now you don't want to pull the paper through and let them snap shut, because sometimes it'll tear a piece of the paper off and it'll be stuck in there and it'll be holding the points open. And then I always like to give them a little snap. Alright, let's try it again. See if we got fire. There we go. Them points are probably really worn. We got fire now. Just didn't file them enough, I guess. Let's see if it'll jump this tester. This is the more accurate one. I'll ground it to a head bolt. Sparking now. It's got dinosaur juice in it. Nope. Now he said he sealed the tank with red coat. We've got a video on that, on how to do that. I don't know if you can see in there. You can see the cap. He did the cap. Looks like a new cork gasket. some dinosaur juice in there. Hopefully that'll be enough. And then gas valve's open. Choke is on. Hopefully this fuel pump's good. We're going to leave this cover off because we want to look at the points when we do get it running. I want to see if they're arcing real bad. If you're getting a lot of sparks at your contacts, your condenser is bad. And a bad condenser will burn up your points quick. Let's give it a shot of some dinosaur farts. Let's see if it'll lick off. There it goes. Woo! We throttle it up. Looks like it's throttled up all the way. You don't want to stay running. Them points were really arcing bad. So that condenser's bad, so we're going to need points and condenser. It's not picking up any fuel on its own. So let's drop the bowl real quick. Take a peek inside. Let's turn that exhaust fan on before we kill ourselves. No fuel. Dry as a bone. No, there's some crap in there. Look at that. I don't think that fuel pump's working either. So we're coming off the other end of the fuel pump. I get this a lot. How do I know if the fuel pump's working? Take the fuel line off on the other side of the fuel pump. Crank it over. See if it's pumping fuel. If it's not pumping fuel, then the fuel pump's no good. This is a mechanical fuel pump. This has got a little lever. Runs off the camshaft. Pumps the fuel. And I think this one's no good. Because we got a gas valve here. And it's open. We got fuel line here. So let's do this. We got enough fuel in the tank. I only poured a little bit in there. Maybe because of the way it's sitting. Loosen that up a little more. Oh, we're not getting nothing out of here. Blockage. Let me try tilting it forward. Oh, there we go. All right. Alright, it's leaning back. So, you probably got to have a good amount of fuel in here. I hope I got enough. This can's about empty. Wipe that off. Them arcing points will be starting to fire. That'll make a good video. I'm gonna blow this off because I spilled that gas, and the way that things are arcing, I don't want this thing to catch fire. So I'll blow that off. And put some more dinosaur syrup in there. There we go. She's pumping like crazy now. Now it's got that siphon effect. Now that I got it pumping, it's siphoning. Now we really got gas everywhere. Alright, put that back down. Move it down a little more. Get some better gription. More gas spillage. This is nasty. There's nastiness in there. Alright, I'm going to roll it forward a little bit. Let me put the cap on. Oh, this thing's hard to roll. I want to get it off of that gas there. Alright, let's see if it'll start now. On its own. So see how it runs real crappy at high RPMs and stuff? And it's sitting there adjusting the carburetor and it ain't doing any good? That's because it's got an ignition problem. The points of condenser are wore out. That's why you always replace the points and condenser. That's why they're called points and condenser. They're not called points, even though the points are separate from the condenser. But you want to replace both. You know, when Brakes and Scrap 'em did them, they made the other end of the condenser the other part of the contact. So when you had to replace the points condenser, you had to replace both. Couldn't just replace one half. Well, you could if you're a knucklehead. So I'll go upstairs and get a set of points and condenser, and we'll change them out, and it should run a lot better at high RPM. See how them points were arcing real bad? That's because condenser's bad. That's the symbol for arcing points. So if you're working on something and the points are arcing and the motor's running real loud, this is what you do to the other feller that's helping you work on it. And then he'll go, okay, the points are arcing, let's shut it off and get a beer. Universal symbol, arcing points. So I got the OEM crawler points, and there's the part number. And you know they gotta be good because they've been handcrafted in Mexico. So these are the OEM ones. Comes with a little love note. I get this a lot too. Well, I cleaned the points. Yeah, well, how well did you clean them? I think I cleaned them pretty well. It's still got no spark. And then it comes in here and I clean them a little better and then it's got spark. Well, I guess I didn't clean them that good. Yeah. Get it, boy! Get it! Woo! Man! They're trying to get as much of this in before winter comes. Because then when it's snowing out, they're just spinning their tires. And if you've ever looked up the condenser, he's still getting it. If you ever looked up the condenser for these, they're pretty salty. I mean, like real salty for the OEM ones. So I've got the rotary brand one. We're gonna try the rotary condenser and see how that works. And that part number is 14953. Now I know Sten's might have, I don't know, I don't think Sten's has a aftermarket one. They might. Don't quote me on that. They might have one, but they have the OEM ones too, Sten's. And Oregon used to have them, but they don't have them anymore because I bought all the ones they had left. And then that means they ain't got any more. All right. So let's do a little experiment, huh? You like the experiment? It's like a laboratory, and you're the lab rat. Let's put the new condenser on and see how those old worn out points are arcing. Let's see if the arcing goes down or stays the same. So here's where the condenser goes over here. And I just got my single wire. So it's got a clamp, and of course the wire is going the wrong way. So we just spin it around. I'll take that bolt out, and I'll remove that, and we'll mount that. And there's your dinner. Alright, got the new condenser installed, so now we're going to fire it up, and then we'll look at the points, see if they're arcing as bad as they were. But they're not crazy arcing like they were before. And I was able to get it to smooth out where when I did it before, it wouldn't smooth out no matter how much I turned the high speed screw. So now let's take those points off. Take a look at them. I got the key off. Yeah. Gasket, and then we got this screw here, which all you have to do is loosen it, and then it unhooks. And then let's get a good look at these points. I bet you they almost look like they're original ones from 1975. Oh, that's one of the screws. Oh yeah, look at them. They're nasty. Let me pull them apart because they're going in the garbage anyway. Let me pull it off of here. Take the screw all the way out. Not like we're gonna save any of this. You'll get a better look at them. Yeah, look at them. That's after I cleaned them with the file, but they're still pretty toasty in there. Now I'm gonna put new points on, and they are gonna arc a little bit. There'll still be a little bit of arcing in there because we are still getting some amperage to them through this ignition system. That's what's nice about that transdenser from Overnight Solutions. It lowers the amperage to milliamps. So there's basically barely any amperage going to them, and you get no arcing. But again, the problem is, like I said before, is when they sit, they will get corrosion in there. And I've had to go back in and just kind of clean them up a little bit to get the spark to come back. I had to do it on the Jacobson, and I had to do it on the on my Cushman that had that crawler on there. I'm like, oh man, this thing ain't got no spark. These are going in the garbage. So Dale from Overnight Solutions, who I know, talked to on the phone a few times, is working on a device that's gonna eliminate the points too. Because if you think about it, the points is just acting like a switch. They're just going open and closing. This is the universal symbol for points. So when you're working on something, you know, this is the points are arcing. This is the points. Points, arcing. Points, arcing. You're learning a little sign language here. So the points are arcing. So I got the points out. Now I gotta read the love note from Crawler. Here's the love note.
Dear Taryl, attention. Contacts can oxidize in storage. Clean contact surfaces with aerosol electrical contact cleaner and a coarse lint-free cloth before installing. Love, Crawler.
These points just warm my heart. Alright, I got the new wire hooked up to the points. Now, the tricky part is getting these screws back in without dropping them. So I've got this thing that's called a screw starter. Now, I got it from Sears years ago. I don't know if they still make this thing. It says Craftsman on it. And it says 41024 must be the part number. But another screwdriver you could use that'll possibly work are those electrician screwdrivers. I think I got one. Let me go get it real quick. Hold on. They got these screwdrivers too. Electricians use them. Where it grabs the screw for you and holds it. but it's a little wider and a little bigger, so it's a little bit more cumbersome. But if you can find one of these work good. So how this works is, look at the tip there, and you turn it, and it's straight. You stick this on there, now it holds it for you. See, and it's the same diameter as the screw. So then you can get in there, and the other end's got a magnet on it. But I kind of modified mine because I needed like an extended magnet on it. So I got like a longer magnet on there. And then, you know, you can clip it in your pocket. Got a little clip on it, like a pen. Oh, look at me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at you, got a screw starter. So we'll stick this on there. I got the gasket on there again. My screw starter holds the screw nice for me, and I can get it started. See, and you'll hear it snap. Then I set it, put the screw in there, and it clicks and it holds it in there. Set it and forget it. Now I can get under there. Now my wire's in the way, so I'm gonna have to loosen this a little bit, turn this out of the way, then I can get in there, get it started. I'm going with my regular screwdriver now. Tighten them down. And then I'll move this back to the center, the wire for the points, and then I'll tighten it, because we want that in the center. When we go to put the points cover on, we don't want any metal to touch that metal points cover. So now we got to set the points at 20 thousandths. Now there is a way, and we have a video on it, on how to set the timing exactly with a timing light. So see this hole here? There's a hole, and on the flywheel are 2 marks. And what you're going to have to do is highlight one of the marks on there. We show you in the video how to do that. And then you shine a timing light in there. You hook up a regular timing light. You hook it to the battery. Now, since this doesn't have advance on it, it doesn't have a vacuum advance, it doesn't matter where you have the throttle, but I always try to set the timing if I want to get it dead on with the engine running at full throttle. You could set it at idle or full throttle, because I said there's no advance. It just seems to work better with the timing light if you got it spinning faster. You can run it at half throttle even. Then you shine the light in there. It's kind of tricky. And then you'll see the line that you marked. You got to highlight it with like a white paint pen. And you got to get it centered in this hole. And then you got to go over here and have a little bit of tension on those points. And you got to kind of adjust them a little bit, and then you can get it to where that mark is right in the center. On this thing, it's going to be real tricky to do that. We'd have to take the tire off, and we'd have to get in there and mark that, find that mark on the flywheel and mark it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set it to where they always say is 20 thousandths. So we'll just set it at 20 thousandths. So now I gotta bump the key. I got a better flashlight now. I gotta bump the key so I can get the points open. Now they're open now. I don't know, can you see it, Mr. Cameraman? They're in the open position now. right, they're open. And they should be pretty close to 20 thousandths. Now I got to get a 20 thousandths feeler gauge. Now sometimes I've had these engines where they won't run that good at 20. I've had people complain, I've done everything, I rebuilt that engine, and man, I adjust that carburetor and it just still runs like crap. And I go, you might have to close the points up to 18. You may have to close them up as much as 16. I said, so try closing the points up from 20 to 18 and see if that helps. And then I've had people call back and go, that did the trick, Taryl. I closed them up to 18 thousandths and it ran good after that. So that's what it was. So that's why if you want to get it dead on, you can use a timing light. So check out our video on how to do it with a timing light. I'm not going to do it again because I already got a video that shows you how to do it with a timing light. So I got 20 thousandths. And it's real close. I would have to say it's probably 21 or 22. So I'm going to close them up a little bit. And then, you know, that's why you do it here. But the tricky part is trying to get in here. I'm probably going to have to take this wheel off. How is this thing held on? I hope this thing isn't going to be hard to get off. Looks like it's just 3 bolts. Unless I can get in here and... Yeah, I can get in here. Alright. Loosen them a little bit. Drop my screwdriver. Now I got that little pivot point here. Well, I just want to close them up a hair. Want some drag on them. Oh, that? No. A little more. A little tricky. Some of this stuff they don't make easy. And I'm trying to get out of the cameraman's way too so he could show you, but alright, let's try that. Nope. Try to loosen them a little bit more. Loosen that adjusting screw. And then a lot of times when you go to tighten the screw down, it'll change it too. I'm just gonna try to pivot right off of here. There we go. Now I closed it too much. Oh yeah, that feels good. It's got just the right amount of drag on it. And we tighten the screw a little bit more. I just want to make sure it's tight. Yeah. Alright, let me shove some paper in there. Make sure there was no dirt or nothing on that feeler gauge. Alright, let's fire it up. See how it looks now. Choke it. Alright, it died on its own. Try opening that low speed a little bit. Now you notice it's still arcing some because this is just these ignition systems on these old crawlers is just crappy. That's why you got all that arcing. But you notice when we revved it up, it wasn't arcing as bad. Sometimes it would stop arcing altogether. How's this throttle shaft? Plus, we don't have the air filter for it either. He took that off. He's got that. So this may run a little different without having that restriction. We'll try turning this in a little, get the idle up. Alright, I think this carburetor is jacked up on the low speed end. Because no matter what I do, 1.5 is a good starting point. And I got it out way more than 1.5. That's 1.5. And I turn that idle screw way in to get it to idle. And it's still falling on its face. But it does run good on fast. Or I'm running out of gas here. What happened to this thing now? What do we do? Lose spark? No, that's a start. this may have something to do with it too. Might be starving it from fuel, and I may have to go through that carburetor. Might have to drill out this freeze plug here. There might be some blockage in this low speed. It runs fine on high. It's just we're not getting it to idle right, so I'll have to go through that carburetor. Okay, I went through the carburetor. I know you probably wanted to see me go through it, but it's just a basic float bowl carburetor. And I took the main nozzle out through the middle, and it was a little dirty, so I cleaned it up, and I checked everything on the low speed circuit through here. I drilled out this Welch plug, which if you've never done that before, you just drill a little tiny hole in it, and then you take a pick tool and you pop it out. And then I put a new Welch plug in there, and when you stick the new one in there, you just take a punch that fits in there, and you just tap it, and it spreads it out. And then I put it back on, and I adjusted the carburetor, and now it idles. Running like a top. So there's one other thing I want to do. And that's, let's see if it's charging the battery. Because it doesn't have an ammeter on it. So I'll put it on DC volts. Let me get over here. I'll throttle it up. And she's charging. So now all the customer has to do is put the air cleaner back on. So that's all I needed. Just need a good tune-up. Go through the carburetor and put a set of points condenser in it. Pretty cool. Got low and high range here. And low and high range here. It goes pretty fast. It's pretty nice where you can kind of hold this for reverse with your hand. And then if you let off, it goes right to neutral, or you can just lock it in forward. It's a neat little walking tractor. And I got it running. See, this stuff isn't that hard. I'm teaching y'all. Are you learning? Are you learning anything? Because I'm showing you. Are you learning? I hope you're learning. So again, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like this video. Go to our web store. We got all kinds of stuff. Like this beautiful pocket tee, which you can put your spectacles in. Spark plug necklace. Bleeding gas and oil. If I cut myself right now, I'd probably fill this thing up with gas and oil. And as always, follow me on Facebook and Instagram with your walking tractors, with the Walking Dead. You know what would look good behind this? A zombie. A zombie. Gotta cut the grass. The headlights were working. I think the switch is dirty. See, they work every once in a while. See, the switch is dirty. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! Got the walking tractor running for Daniel! Woo! 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 Woo!
Michael! Michael! Are you anywhere in here, around here? I've got some candy for you. Michael, you've come home. You know, it might be easier to eat that with that mask off. Or maybe not.
You really think that Michael Pliers is gonna come here and get us, Pa?
Oh, that Dr. Neon, he's just trying to scare us. That Michael Pliers has been locked up for over 20 years. He ain't getting out. He's in Podunk minimal security prison. You got nothing to worry about, Junior. Now go back to work.
Seems like a likely coincidence, Pa. You think Michael cut the power?
No, this is Podunk. Power's out more than it's on. I'll just have to go power up the shop generator. There you are. Oh, great. Oh, it's out of gas. I'll have to find a gas can and fill it up. Oh, thanks, Junior.
Yeah. Way to go, Pa!
Oh, great. Junior wants to lock me out. Open the door, Junior!
What are you doing, Pa? I didn't lock you out.
Come on, let me in.
Ah! Michael!
Got something for you, and it's not candy.
Dr. Neon. You saved us.
I had a feeling he was going to come back, so I fired up the old shock-o-matic. We got to get a hold of Podunk police and get him back to the sanitarium.
I hate to break it to you guys, but Michael's gone.